Absolutely, absolutely. It's a skill. I mean, you have the passion piece, the ability to think out of the box, the ability to be defiant. It comes a little bit through nurture or nature, I felt. But certainly the skill of being an entrepreneurship sure can be trained. And in fact, I think all of the entrepreneurs are made. I don't think there's anybody who's sort of born as an entrepreneur. They're all made because they're born with a certain desire and a spirit and they've been brought up. But after that, it's about the everyday experience that you're dealing with, whether it's you're out in the field, meeting, hiring people or selling your ideas, whether you're selling the ideas to your investors or you're selling them to your customers. It's all about the skill you learn and you don't even realize it, that you are actually improvising, learning, improving. When I go and make a presentation and I get some feedback, the next time I make the same presentation, I'm already better at it. So, so absolutely, entrepreneurs are made, there's no question about it. I think what you require is some level of attitude or some level of willingness to take risks or willingness to fail, as I mentioned. So that's the piece. I would certainly say yes, I would be still here. I think Harvard is certainly, I would argue that Harvard is perhaps a personal confidence builder more than anything else. I mean, that's sort of a odd thing for one to say, but I'll be honest about it. I think it's that it is to proving to yourself that you are, half the time is actually all within your head, within our own heads. And so it's about proving to ourselves that, yes, I'm smart enough to figure this out, or I'm smart enough to get in. So I think part of that was that. Would have gotten there without Harvard? Perhaps. Obviously I can't really say for sure, but I'm sure that comes with maturity, that comes with experience, that comes with, your willingness to learn from your mistakes. So I think the answer is yes, I would be. I'm glad I went there. I learned a lot. You meet a great number of people. You get perspectives from different people, and you realize that, frankly, you're as smart as anybody else, or you're as dumb as anybody else. So it's sort of a I think it's more of a personal growth rather than academic growth. As I mentioned earlier, folks who have traveled outside have been exposed to different ways of doing things, and that exposure makes them better at what they're doing. So if you were working at a local coffee store or a chai ki dukaan, right, and then you go and before Starbucks came and you went abroad and you looked and see how Starbucks works, then you realize that there is a way to run a very high quality professional coffee place. And of course, there are enough companies in India, but my point is that exposure happens. So in our case, when I came, the reason I started the dental business is when I came here and I realized that I've been to dentists in the US and lived there for a number of years, and when I came here and had to go see a dentist for some urgent work, realized that the quality of care and the quality of the environment and the hygiene and sterilization factors were not very good. And I only could recognize that because I had been exposed to whatever the good is. And so unless you've been exposed to what good is, you don't know. So in other words, if you get your education here, go travel for a couple of years and spend some time abroad or other parts of you don't have to even go to Europe, you can even go to Bangladesh or you can go to Nepal and you can learn a lot. So I think just opening your mind is what gives you that experience. Well, I have a number of mentors. Warren Buffett is one of the very well-known business leader for his perseverance, his ability to look into businesses, and really his famous line is, I don't invest in anything I don't understand. So you have to really understand what business you're in. And it took us when we started this company, it took me 6 months before we opened our first clinic to really understand what dentistry is all about. It took us another 1.5 years before we opened our second clinic to figure out what it takes to open more, and now we have 60. So I think the point is that you have to really understand the business, and that's what I love Warren Buffett for, and